Sister in the Flute. In a village there lived 7 brothers and a sister. The brothers were all married, but the sister still took care of all the family's cooking, not allowing the brothers' wives to assist in any part of this important duty. For this reason, the wives resented their sister in law. They tried to talk to their husbands, each one presenting a case of her superiority culinary skills, but the brothers were loath to deprive their sister of a place in the household. So the wives decided to get help from the Bonga of the tribe. Can you ensure that her sister-in-law is delayed at the water tank when she goes to fetch water at midday? They asked. Yes, I can make it happen. When a pitcher touches the water line, the water will disappear. When she removes the pitcher, the water will reappear, the Bonga suggested. That's brilliant, the sister-in-law said. That way she'll just keep trying to fill a pitcher and won't be able to return in time to cook the evening meal, and we'll have to do it. What will you give me in return? The Bonga said. You may keep the girl, they replied. At noon that day, the sister went to the tank as usual, but when she dipped the pitcher into it, the water level suddenly dropped. Wondering what was going on, she drew her pitcher back, and as soon as she did that, the water began to rise again. When it reached her ankles, she tried to dip the pitcher in it again, but the vessel would not submerge in the water no matter how hard she pushed. By now the girl was frightened and she began to cry, calling to her brothers. Oh, brothers, the water reaches to my ankles, still the pitcher will not dip. The water continued to rise until it reached her knees, and she tried once again to dip her pitcher, but the vessel would still not go under. Then she cried, Oh, brothers, the water reaches to my knees, still the pitcher will not dip. The water rose some more, and when it reached her waist, she tried again to dip her pitcher into it, but the waterline was like a wall, and she wailed. Oh, brothers, the water reaches to my waist, still the pitcher will not dip. The water rose even higher, and as it reached her neck, she wailed even more loudly. Oh, brothers, the water reaches to my neck, still the pitcher will not dip. Then the water rose so high that it went over the head, and she went under the pitcher and all, and still her wails could be heard. Oh, brothers, the water is over my head, and the pitcher begins to fill. When the pitcher filled to the brim, she drowned. The bonks then changed her into a Bonga like himself and carried her off. Time passed, and the girl who had been turned into a Bonga became a bamboo plant growing on the embankment of the tank in which she had drowned. There was a jogi who used to often pass by that embankment, and when he saw the bamboo that had grown to an immense size, he said to himself, This will make a splendid flute. So the next day he brought an axe to cut it down, but when he was about to begin cutting, the bamboo called out, Don't cut at the root, cut higher up. When he lifted his axe to cut higher up on the stem, the bamboo cried out again, Don't cut near the top, cut at the root. When the yogi again made to strike at the root, the bamboo called, Don't cut at the root, cut higher up. And once again, when he raised his axe, the bamboo said, Don't cut near the top, cut at the root. By this time, the jogi was sure that a Bonga was trying to mess with him, and becoming angry, he took the axe and struck the bamboo at the root. Then he carried it home and made a flute out of it. The instrument had such a superior sound that all who heard it were entranced. The jogi took this flute with him whenever he went begging, because when people listened to it, they were compelled to give generously. One day, making his rounds in the neighborhood, the jogi begged at the house of the 7 brothers whose sister had drowned in the tank. When the brothers heard this flute, they felt a strange anguish in their hearts, and their tears began to roll down their cheeks. Sell me your flute, the eldest brother said to the jogi. How much is it? It's not for sale, the jogi replied. If you give it to me, I will take care of all your needs for 1 whole year. It was an attractive offer, but the jogi was not interested. Then one day the jogi went to beg at the village chief's house. When he played his flute, everyone in the chief's house was enchanted, especially his son, who was an amateur musician. Sell me the flute, the village chief ordered the jogi. My flute is not for sale, he replied. I'll pay whatever price you name, the chief said. This flute is my livelihood, how can I sell it? I understand, said the chief. I'll not ask you again to sell it, but let me offer you some food. The chief servant bought the jogi a plate full of food and along with that a bottle of liquor. Eating just a few mouthfuls, the jogi started on the bottle and kept going till the last drop was gone, and soon he fell on his side completely drunk. The chief then had his man replace his flute with another one that looked just like that. Much later, when the jogi recovered from his drunkenness, he quickly gathered his belongings and left, not realizing that he was leaving behind his magical flute. Now, the chief's son began to play the jogi's flute every evening, and he sounded so accomplished that everyone was amazed. During the day, the chief and his family worked in the field. So, in the morning, before going to work, the chief's son would leave the flute sitting in a corner of his room. For the first few days, the bong's girl in the flute remained in the flute, but slowly as the days passed, she began to feel at home. And one morning, when the family left, she came out of the flute and walked around the son's room. The next day, she walked around the house, and the day after that, she found the kitchen. That day, she prepared a sumptuous rice meal for the family, and making a plate for the young man, she brought it to his room and hid it under the bed. Then she slipped back into the flute. When the chief's son returned from work, he smelt the food in his room and found the plate under his bed. Wondering who had placed it there, he took a bite and then quietly and quickly ate everything on the plate because it was the most delicious food he had ever eaten. When he stepped out of his room, he heard the woman talking excitedly about the delicious rice meal that had been prepared for the whole family. There was a plateful in my room as well, he told them. Aha, they exclaimed. We were wondering. What do you mean? He asked. It's obvious that one of your girlfriends has done this to impress us. The chief's son was very good looking and had many girls constantly vying for his attention. Hence, everyone accepted this explanation, even the young man himself. When food began to appear every day in the kitchen and under his bed, the family decided to find out which of his girlfriends was making it. So the following morning, the young man did not go to work. Instead, he hid behind a pile of wood in his room. Soon, he saw a beautiful girl come out of the bamboo flute. As he watched in astonishment, she went to the mirror and sitting down before it, piled a long black hair on her head. When she left the room, he followed her and realized that she was headed to the kitchen. There she washed her hands and began cooking a meal of rice, and after she was done, she filled a plate and carried it back to his room, where she slipped it under his bed. As the flute girl was about to go back into the flute, the young man caught her in his arms. Let me go, she begged. Who are you? I am a bonga, she told him. I want to marry you, the young man said. And so the bonga girl and the chief's son were married and began to live happily. It so happened that the 7 brothers of the sisters who had drowned were close friends of the chief, and they often visited his house. When the new bride was introduced to them, she recognized them immediately, but they did not know who she was. She cooked them a meal of rice, and when they were served, she sat with them, eating the rice dishes. The eyes of the seven brothers filled with tears. When the chief asked them what was wrong, they said, "This food reminds us of our sister who passed away." "I am your sister," the girl told them, and related all that had happened to her. And when she was done with her story, she said, "You know how your wives were treating me, but you did nothing, my brothers. You must have known when they set me up to drown, and still you did nothing to save me." The brothers looked at the sister shamefaced, and that was all the complaint she made. This is a folk tale from the Ho and Munda tribes.